I always tell this to people who ask me about refereeing. I'm a good I'm one of the best referees out there simply because I made a lot of bad calls. That led to so many modifications. Now, if you people who would observe URCC events, yeah, me, Joey, Flores, we would make it a point to shadow each other. So, we called it tawag namin
tell us
dyan.
about it.
So, ito yun. Again, this is a Destroy MNL exclusive. As in, I've never told this story. Maniwala kayo sa akin, I've never told this story.
First time.
Maraming exclusives dito sa series
This is the
na to.
only time I'm telling this story. I'll never tell this story ever again. Because I don't want to badmouth anybody. Pero, yun.
Welcome to the second installment of our series called The Trinity of Pinoy MMA Referees. And for part two, we have the brainchild of Arte Suave Manila, Professor Franco Rulloda.
Welcome,
What's up,
sir.
everybody?
Hello.
What's up? What's
also
up, guys?
the co-host of our
Yes.
great show, Combat Sports Weekly.
Yes, so happy
It's
to
about
be
time.
here.
Yeah.
So happy
About
to be
time
here.
to
So
be on
happy to
Destroy
be here.
Manila.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isa talaga sa mga dream ko maging part ng Destroy MNL podcast. Yeah, I'm very
About
happy
time,
na,
diba? Grabe.
very happy that I'm here, guys.
It's solidified
Finally.
like your Dylan Dennis status in the world. Grabe. But on a serious note, you are definitely one of the best
Yeah.
referees and MMA
In the
coaches
business.
in the Philippines.
Thank you, thank you.
If
I
not
learned
the
from the
most
best.
respected.
I learned from
So-
the best.
Of course. One of our biggest questions is in the world of reffing, there seems to be a shortage of officials who actually know what to do. We've seen so many things, not only in the grappling world, where parang nakatingin off stage palagi yung mga tao, yung mga nag-referee, hindi alam gagawin. Or in MMA, it's a thankless job where if you stop the fight too fast, they say, he should have
Why did
let
you
it
do it?
go on
Yeah.
for 10 or 50 more seconds.
Yeah.
But if you stop the fight too late, they say you're not for the safety of the fighter. Like, when you started, was that a challenge? And how much of a challenge was it?
When I started, being a referee fell on my lap. Believe it or not, I was a event marshal during URCC events. And then,
Event marshal.
Event
Okay.
marshal. So I
Wow.
made sure that I made sure that everyone was in order, everything was in order.
So parang logistics ano siya.
Oh, logistics and operations ako noon.
Parang bouncer din.
And then I would ako yung bouncers ng fighters and coaches.
Ng fighters.
Yeah.
So parang kang herder ng fighters.
Oh,
and
parang, make sure you don't overlap, you don't get to see each other. Yeah. So it was a pretty good gig. And then I would always watch how referees fight.
Okay.
And then,
wait, what year was this start?
Yeah.
Oh my God, parang this was probably 2011, 2010,
Oh, wow.
2011.
Wow.
So I was watching
9-10
my
years ago.
predecessor. So I was watching Professor Joey Lepitin, Professor Joel Apinchay, Coach Christian Wong. These are the premier referees during that time. I watch how they move. Anthony Peñalosa, Coach Anthony Peñalosa. I was watching how they move, how they make decisions, the nuances, and which angles were they utilizing in order to get a better idea of how to judge fights or how to make calls. It just intrigued me. And at the same time, I was, before becoming a fight marshal kasi, I was part of the ring control. Parang yun yung entry level mo, ring control. So, people who are going to watch and listen to this, prior to using a cage, the URCC used a boxing ring. So, ring control would be people who would make sure that fighters' arms and legs won't get entangled with the ropes of the ring. We would also be responsible for pushing fighters inside so that they don't fall out. So, that was a very up close and personal experience with regards to the angles of fighting, and I would look at where referees would be standing so that I don't get in their way and they get out of the way of the fighter. So that was kind of my introduction, and it kind of intrigued me. And then all of a sudden, there was one fight there was one amateur event in Banff. There was probably a screening for URCC. I can't remember anymore. They were short of referees. And then Willie said, "Ito si Franco. Willie Carlos, one of the premier matchmakers of the URCC. Apparently he was watching me pala. And he goes like, "Ito si Franco, nanonood mag-referee yan." Then I said, "I have no idea how to do this." And, Professor Joel and Joel Lapincha.
Was it a classic case of
Joel
kaya mo yan, tol?
Yeah, they said, "Kaya mo yan, you just watch out for this." Nag-jiu-jitsu ka naman nag-MMA ka rin naman so you already know what to watch out for. You already know if a submission is in.
What was your initial reaction though? Like, I don't know how to do this. It's like,
syempre I was like, what? Are you serious? I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke.
I'm actually gonna ref a fight.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? Diba? And I really think the reason, to answer your earlier question, a lot of people don't want to be a referee because they don't want to be accountable for their actions.
Yung accountability for being a referee is something else.
It's such a big responsibility.
It's such a huge responsibility.
Ikaw ang masisisi talaga sa lahat.
I really think people see refereeing as referees as authoritative figures until it's time to make a decision. So making decisions are actually easy. Living with your decisions are the hardest part, especially when you make bad calls. I always tell this to people who ask me about refereeing. I'm one of the best referees out there simply because I made a lot of bad calls. So I have to live with those bad calls. I had to live with those bad calls, and I had I had to learn from my mistakes. Diba? Kasi you're not just...
I suppose you're going to make them early on. Of
exactly. Yun eh. This is something that, like, for example, when we took Florence Eusebio under our wing, we kept telling him, you're gonna make mistakes, okay? You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fuck up. Kasi you're gonna fuck up. Pero, sorry, win or lose, good or bad decision, do not justify it to people.
Don't talk. Okay.
No, don't discuss it. No explanation needed. Do not explain yourself to people, because at the end of the day, they will not make that call. They don't have the balls to make that call. If they knew how to call a fight, they would be there, not you. So,
true.
If we made a bad call, then we made a bad call. Diba? We apologize, then we move on to the next. Pero under no circumstances are you going to explain things further. You don't owe anybody anything. If you need to explain something, you explain to Alvin or you explain to Gab. Games and Amusements Board. That's it. Diba?
That's such good advice.
Kasi I've made a lot of bad calls. They
Was there anyone to tell you that though?
Yeah. For example, I made a bad call. Alvin will tell me, Alvin, that was kind of late, or that was a bad call, that was too early, or then ito yun eh. Here's the thing. Here's an inside scoop. A Destroy MNL exclusive. We referees critique each other. We referees critique each other.
Please tell us about that.
There's nobody who's gonna tell us how to do our jobs better except ourselves. So we have to put our guards down. We have to put our egos down whenever we do pre-fight and post-fight discussions or breakdowns.
That's such an interesting process, especially post-fight.
Kasi we have to say na for this sequence you were standing at a bad angle. Something could have happened, and you, diba? We would, because this is what we're doing, because this is like the internal culture back then. I saw referees back then do this. Yeah, nung panahon nila Anthony, Joey, Wong, yan. Yun pala yun. They were like always.
You mean the pre-fight and the post-fight?
Yeah, they would always discuss fights. They would, and then Alvin will always make sure to meet us prior to the beginning of the event, and he would always encourage us. a lot of people just see Alvin sitting down on his chair during events, pero there's a lot of work that that there's a lot of work prior to the beginning of an event and after an event. So yun. Those are one of the things. So he would talk to the fighters, he would talk to the technical committee, he would also talk to us. He would reassure us na whatever call you make, I will support you. And dati parang wala lang siya sa akin. Pero when I made a bad call, thank God, konti lang yung mga bad calls ko. Pero that was very, very instrumental. Kasi when I made a bad call, I apologized to ang tawag dito? To both camps. I said, my bad, I'm sorry. Pero that was my call during that time. And I'm very thankful for the MMA community and the Jiu-Jitsu community na they're very understanding. Pero syempre, you can't help but get heckles from fans, from supporters, from family members. Diba? I would get negative treatment from them, pero here comes Alvin, he would say, no. You did a good job. Doon ko na-realize, okay, may weight yung sinasabi niyang ganun. And then he would say,
you only realize you had that.
Diba? I'll take care of the press. I'll talk to Gab. I'll explain. Diba? That's when you realize that
yung accountability din niya, no? Stands by his referees.
And he has your back. Yun na lang yun. The feeling na he assures people that he has your back. Yun. It's a good confidence boost. So that's what we're so
you're more relaxed there.
Funny thing that you mentioned na sige, go JC. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in line with that pa, how did your worst bad call affect you personally?
Yeah, how did you deal with that?
Yun.
Yeah, how did you deal with that?
The biggest one was probably in Baguio, URCC Baguio.
Okay.
This is something parang destroy MNL exclusive.
Confession
sessions. So the worst one for me was this event in URCC Baguio.
What year was this?
Ano pa to? Dave Galera fight pa to. Tagal na to.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So ito yun. I was the only referee. So it was a 10...
All the event?
Wow.
All the events. So 10 fights.
How many fights?
10 fights. Tapos this was the old format pa. So 10 minutes per round.
Oh,
my God.
My goodness.
So I was the only referee.
Pride.
I was the only referee. Then halfway through the bout, it was the Red Romero Dave Galera.
Okay, yeah.
Galera got Red on a triangle. Tapos nag-phantom tap si Red Romero. Si Red.
Okay.
Did a phantom tap. For me, I let it go. I was like, no, that's not a tap. Kasi yung mga yung ganun. So for Dave said he tapped. So he let loose the triangle, and then he just kept pointing. He tapped. Dave was a member of Lakay Wushu pa nun.
Team Lakay din, ano?
Team Lakay pa siya. So sabi niya, he fucking tap. Tapos, no, I don't want to continue. He tapped.
Alam ka eh.
Tapos sinabi ko, no, go back. As in, I was saying that, pero to be honest, my mind was like, kasi this was bout number 5 na eh. So okay. I have di pa ako uminom, di pa ako nagbubanyo, di ba?
I got 5 more.
So para nag-isip ako, did I mess that up? Yun na ako. Did I fuck that up? Did he really tap? Pero hindi. I just went back to what my mentors taught me na no matter what happens, hindi silang masusunod, ikaw. Diba? No matter what happens, it's not their call, it's your call. You're the referee, you're the authority. If you feel, even if you're wrong, if you thought na he didn't tap, then he didn't tap. So I said, no. Sabi ko, nakalapel pa ako. Sabi ko, no, he did not. Continue. Fight.
Laban sila, okay.
Laban sila uli. Tapos tinalo niya si Red. Then afterwards, he was mounting off, and then the crowd was mounting off na. Tapos after nung laban, break. nag-break, getting ready for the next bout. So medyo may lull ng konti. Puta, yung mga crowd talagang, tang-ina mo, referee, tang-ina ka. Galit
Iba
sila.
yung ano eh.
Iba yung
Immediate na feedback.
sabi nila.
Iba yung protectiveness ng Baguio crowd eh.
Iba. Sabi
Sa fighters nila eh.
Wala kang kwenta. As in, lahat ng heckling, ganyan. Then, I saw Alvin stand up. He looked at the crowd. Tapos, so sabi ko, okay, at least, di ba? At least, dun din, Alvin showed again that he got
stood
my back.
by your decision.
And this is major props and major shout out. That's why I love and have tons of respect for these two fighters. Edward Fulayang and Honorio Banario. They stood up, went to the crowd. They went to that to the group of fans.
Oh, there's one group.
Wow.
Grupo sila ng mga lakay
There's
fans.
always that group.
Yeah.
Kinausap pinuntahan ni Edward tsaka ni Honorio. So they told them na yun nga parang if I made a mistake, that was it. Pero para naman kasi sa akin during that time, it was a phantom tap.
Yeah.
That's one of the incidents wherein I made sure during fight that was a good learning experience for me as well as a referee. It helped me it helped me mature and develop my skill set. So now I just don't. Not only am I explaining rules during fighter briefings, I tell them na I don't want to see phantom taps. I don't want to see phantom taps.
Nakakaloko din
I
kasi.
don't want ayoko ng mga tapik lang na ganoon tapos wala na. Hindi. Tap. If I don't see a clear tap, I'm not gonna stop the fight. Yun na. I make it clear na. So those are one of experiences. So it's a very good learning experience, but it's also one of those experiences wherein I'm very thankful for the response of the organization and the people in it. So yan, I mean, nag-thank you ko kay Honorio tsaka kay Edward noon na parang
that could have been potentially
puta baka may inabangan ako dun sa labas.
Yun na nga eh.
So,
like, yung referee, kumusta kami dun or something, di ba?
So again, these are the things na, di ba, buti nga kayo, I'm super happy that you reacted that way when I said I was the only referee. Sabi nyo kagad, oh my God. Dude.
Yeah.
Diba?
We know how hard it is.
How many hours did you work, diba? For one thing.
So ano na yun? So 10 minutes per round. So 20 minutes.
Come
20
on.
minutes per 20 minutes times 10. 200 200 minutes yun.
Goodness.
Diba? 200 minutes. Tapos 2-minute breaks. So
jingle. Inom lang, walang kain.
Hindi, walang break yun. Walang break yun. Wala. Nag-request na nung sunod na fighter nung on the 6th bout, 6th or 7th bout, nahihilo na ako. Sabi ko, Jeboy. Sabi ko, kasi ayoko rin uminom kasi hindi ako makakabanyo eh. Sabi ko, Jeboy, habang nagpa-fighter introduction sila, sabihin mo kay MC, bagalan ng konti, magbabanyo lang ako. Sabi niya.
Para magka-break.
Tapos parang, sabi ni J-Boy, is one of the best backstage managers you could ever, operation managers you ever have. He's also my partner in Arte Suave Manila. Kailangan mo ba magbanyo? Sige. Kinat niya.
Yung event?
Inano niya. Buti na lang, pati yung director, I think it was Direct Bing. He also saw my plight. Kinat nila yung coverage.
Shout out to Direct Bing Bassett, one of the best directors in broadcast.
Kinat nila yung sige Franco, banyo ka, inom kang tubig. So I did. Went to the bathroom. Then, yung bathroom, second floor ng auditorium. So,
grabe.
Isip ko na rin, nasa Baguio ka. So, parang kapag uminom ka, lalamigin ka. Iika talaga.
Namang tubig. Balik ako. Okay. Tapusin ko na talaga to.
On a serious note, I'm pretty sure after your event, it didn't really sit well with you, like how the audience reacted. And
Hindi, I'm
sure it was a growing moment afterwards.
Ito lang naman yun eh. You can't please everybody. And it's also a good thing na I was aware of the Baguio crowd. I love the Baguio crowd. Ito lang yun eh. They saw something wrong. They backed their
boy.
Their boy. And I cannot fault them for that. I actually love them for that. Kasi di ba, yun, di ba? Support ka talaga. So when that happened, there was no ill feelings. I was just quiet. I was actually smiling and laughing kasi sabi ko, I can't believe of all the places to be heckled, sa Baguio pa ako na heckled. Sabi ko, I love going here. Sabi ko, I love going to Baguio. Sa Baguio pa ako na heckle. Sabi ko, and there was a small part of me that kind of felt I let them down with that bad call. Pero hindi pa rin eh. So I stuck with my guns. I'm happy I did. It actually made me a better referee. And then that led to so many modifications. Now, if you people who would observe URCC events, me, Joey, Florence, we would make it a point to shadow each other. So we called it the tawag namin
tell us
dyan,
about
the triangle offense.
Triangulation.
The triangulation. So there's the main referee. He's inside the cage. And then we would shadow the off angles. So we would be standing on opposite ends of the cage depending on which angle is the blind side ng referee. So
that's
for
important,
example, the blind side, and at the same, it was a working system. We kind of work on instinct. I don't know how to put it into words or in a working system. Pero wala eh. We kind of feed off each other's energy. So if he's here, I'll try to go behind, or I'll try to go to the side wherein there's probably an underhook or an overhook na hindi nakikita ng fellow referee ko because he was standing in front. This normally happens, and it's very useful during clinches in the cage. If there are submission attempts near the cage. So for example, these are very small hand gestures. Is he holding the cage? I'll say thumbs up. He's not holding the cage. Thumbs down. He's holding the cage. I'll go a motion like this. Mga hand signals lang namin. If we go like this, fighters holding the cage. So, alisin. Diba? If the submission is clean, we'll do a thumbs up. Diba? Pag alanganin, we're sure na the fighter's gonna escape that. Thumbs down kami. Or sasabihin namin, walang submission. Yun, simple things like that.
It sounds like a really streamlined kind of way to communicate and spot each other.
A lot of it came with experience.
It takes a solid chemistry between the three of you to do such a thing.
I agree, 100%. Kaya rin siguro, when events would message me to referee their events, I'd be like, who else is there? Who else is there? If I know the other referee, another good referee is Rene Ross. Rene Ross is a good referee. So
Viawian Kampilan.
So if Rene is there, Florence or Joey, I'll go. Pero if I'm just the only technical referee and I have to guide 3 other referees, I'd rather decline than work with people na this was before. Then work with people na I'd probably get pissed at because they'd probably mess things up. Then I realized this was actually a conversation between me, Professor Joey Lepitan, and Master Rene Ross. Their wisdom actually opened my eyes to the possibility na to the knowledge na we shouldn't be the only ones who know this. We should be able to, we're good at it already. We're at a level of proficiency wherein we are capable of making good calls. We should impart this knowledge to other people because plain and simple, hindi pwedeng kami na lang palagi.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think JC has on that.
It's something that I noticed kasi even sa smaller leagues all over the Philippines. Parang for some reason when you say Philippine MMA referee, the first 3 people that come into mind, lalo na ngayon kayong tatlo lang, nobody else.
Diba?
Yung biggest question ko is why? I mean, I don't
obviously
understand.
You guys are elite.
It's fear of it's fear of judgment and fear of making calls. Diba?
It's fear of screwing up basically.
Fear of screwing up. And then especially with the advent of social media, you get online bashers, you get on venue bashers, and you get online bashers.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't.
So let's break that down for me.
10 fights by yourself anymore.
Me, Joey, and Florence are on that elite bracket simply because, number one, we're good. We're good at what we do. Number two, we're not afraid to make mistakes. Number three, we learned from each other and we learned from the best. What else? We subject ourselves to scrutiny and we always make sure na we keep improving. Refereeing is a very thankless job. So if you're not
True.
passionate about it, if you're not gonna, ito yun these are the things, akala ng mga tao kasi refereeing is just standing there making decisions. No. Number one, you have to, and a huge factor then, na why why we're in that elite bracket is because the community respects us. They respect our judgment and they respect our personalities. Kasi they all know na we are after their best interest. Yun yung pinaka, I think that's the major reason why. Tsaka ito rin yun eh. We're also competitors. We're also fighters. So I think that added up to the credibility and the integrity part. So
in line with that pala, I actually have a question with that kasi I've seen people question that part of being a referee. Kasi people say, a lot of people, lalo na online, people question well, sabihin na let's name drop already. See, referee Florence, people, I've seen some people question him just because he's not a black belt of BJJ or he's not an expert in Muay Thai or something like that. What does it take to be an actual referee ba talaga?
The thing about, sige, let's go about refereeing. There are no qualifications for being a referee, okay? Being a fighter, being a coach, being in the martial arts industry, and then scrap that off. Being a competitor is not a requirement. Those are add-ons. Those are incentives. To be a referee, you have to be a decision maker. You have to be ready to be a decision maker. You have to be ready to make a call. Yun lang yun. That's the hardest part of being a referee, making a call.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an MMA referee or combat sports referee, number one, you should be familiar with the rules.
Yes. Okay? Implement the rule set, diba?
Number two, you should be familiar with the organization and the guidelines of the organization or the promotion that you're part of. Number three, you should at least have a good idea of how athletes or fighters move or their personalities or ako kasi we'll get to that later. Next, you should be able to live with your decisions. And number five,
sounds like the hardest part.
Diba? That's the hardest part. And number five, a GAB license.
Of course, so, you need to be licensed. So, that's basically it.
Ako naman, personally, a good amount of martial arts experience will always go a long way. Si Florence naman nagbaboxing naman yan. Nagayaw yan ata yan.
Alam ko eh.
Diba? So, tsaka ito lang din yun. He has immersed himself in the jiu-jitsu community, in the martial arts community, in the MMA community. Yeah. So, ito rin yun. He's a new referee, okay?
Yeah.
He's a new referee. He will mess up. He will fuck things up. He will get things wrong. Pero ito yun. He put himself in that position. Nobody in the entire community or industry approached me, the URCC, or any organization and said, pwede ba akong maging referee? Gusto ko po maging referee. Willing akong isubject yung sarili ko to bashing para tulungan yung growth ng community. Wala. Si Florence, ginawa niya yun.
Grabe.
Yun lang yun. Diba? So, I said the same thing to Florence. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna fuck things up. Diba? There are a few instances wherein he made bad calls or he made a bad call. I told him, Florence, ituloy mo yan. Ituloy mo yan. Kasi sinasabi ko, ituloy mo yan. Huwag kang magbabago ng desisyon. Kasi the moment na magbago ka ng desisyon, precedent na yun. Diba? If you made a bad call, let's all live with it. Diba?
Yes, that's it. Let's all live with it.
Sinasabi ko, let's all live with it. Diba? Bawi tayo next fight. Bawi tayo next event. Diba? People are gonna talk shit. We're gonna take
Yeah.
it. We're gonna apologize. Pero move on tayo. Move on. Okay tayo. Next
And
time.
you've really refed some of the, like, I remember we were talking about one of the weirdest events you've refed, which is a kickboxing league, I think, diba?
Yeah.
Nagano ako
So
doon.
how do you
Nag-judge ako doon.
Bulin,
Nag-judge.
Judge ka doon, but
Judge.
So
how do you
the league
implement
is
weird rule sets though, diba?
So the league is Woolen Fong. I'm very
Oh, yeah,
happy
there you
that
go.
Woolen Fong Kickboxing League staged an event in Manila. So I really hope that they do this in the next coming leagues. In the next coming years when everything is opened up. Here's a very interesting story with that. This is a good story for people when it comes to refereeing. So if you don't have all the qualities that I mentioned a while ago, this is the problem. So Woolen Fong, I was a judge. So this is what I did. As a judge, you follow more or less the same rules, the same thing. So I read the rules. I met the organizers and the promoters. I had a conversation how they would run things, what would be a good call and a bad call, the point system. I had a conversation with Gab kasi this was an inaugural event.
Mm-hmm.
This was an inaugural event. So lahat ng tao nangangapa. Lahat kapa-kapa.
Yeah.
And then I said, who are your referees? Then I was introduced to the referees. Then I said, sir, do you know, I mean, not to overstep. Sabi ko, I'm not overstepping, sir. Sabi ko, I know how it feels like to be in your shoes. Sabi ko, are you familiar with the rules? Syempre, these guys were older than me.
Yeah.
Then they go like, yung typical na ano. I don't know if it's just them or not. Para sila, alam na namin yan.
Okay.
Sabi ko, okay, cool. Good.
But to you, did it sound like blasé or like
They didn't.
casual?
Very cash. I have no idea if they knew the rules.
Okay.
So,
alam na namin yan. Okay.
so ito yun. Again, this is a Destroy MNL exclusive. I said, I've never told this story. Maniwala kayo sa akin, I've never told this story.
First time.
Maraming exclusives dito sa series
This is the
na to.
only time I'm telling this story. I'll never tell this story ever again because I don't want to badmouth anybody. Pero yun. So then Direct Bing was there, Boyet was there. So I was very comfortable. Very comfortable kasi Aaron was there. So that's why I agreed. Florence was there. Then I go like, okay, let's do this. Sabi ko, good event tayo guys ha. So it was just me. I high-five people, encourage them, let's do a good event. Natutunan ko yan kay Direct Bing.
Direct Bing.
Direct Bing is very straight to the point. He wants everything to run smoothly. But he will tell you, let's do a good event, Let's do a good event, Let's do a good
I like
event,
that guy. I Direct Bing.
Ako, I've been refereeing so many events, pero he will always come up to me and say, how are you? How are you feeling today? I want good fights, I want good fights. Ganun siya. Ganun.
Walang fail. People.
Walang fail. That's how good Direct Bing is. Shout out Direct Bing. Bing Bassett.
Bing Bassett, the man.
So afterwards, I go like, nag-rules briefing na po ba kayo sa fighters? So sabi lang, okay. Rules briefing. Nag-rules briefing sila. Nobody was listening.
Oh, goodness.
They go
None
like,
of the fighters were
these
listening.
These are the rules, ha? Ako, I don't know. I think you've seen me do rules briefing. I go like, everybody, shut the fuck up.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Diba? Joel, Prof. Joey, they go like, knock on the door. Dug. Everybody, listen up. Ako nga, minsan, gusto ko lang impose yung swag ko eh. Hey, everybody, I need everybody to shut the fuck up. Diba? Let's talk about
All
the
eyes
rules.
on me. Ganun lang. Oo.
Diba? We're gonna talk about the rules again. Diba? We're gonna talk about the rules. Questions, ask me. We will answer. I don't know the answer. We will go to technical committee. They just read the rules. Nobody was listening.
Oh, goodness.
Sabi ko,
Sounds like UFC 1.
Hindi kasi ito yun eh. Kasi wala eh. Parang they didn't have the presence.
That's it. The energy for it.
The energy. Yeah. Exactly. I think that's the best answer. They didn't have the energy. They didn't have that authority with them, or they didn't probably have the confidence to mouth off words like that. Kasi ito yun So, nagsasalita sila ng rules. Yung isa nagpapamasahe, yung isa nagpapabalot, yung isa natutulog, yung isa nagwa-warm up sa shower room.
Oh God.
Like,
Grabe.
What a
Parang-
briefing.
Shit.
Parang may take on that if they don't listen to you habang nag-explain ka ng rules, how do you expect them to listen to you while in the ring?
All in the ring.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Accountability
Yeah.
and all. And we've all seen how bad mistakes can get, diba? We remember Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Si Herb Dean beat himself up
Herb
with that.
Dean pa yun.
Diba?
And we remember that sa one championship that very badly ref match between si Giorgio Petrosian at saka si
controversial.
Pechendi. Controversial
Yeah.
talaga.
So,
Parang these things could have been improved. Like Herb Dean, I don't know. He seems like he's there sometimes. He's not there, but props to him.
We're
Show the
human.
standard.
We're human.
Yeah.
But it's a human error. It's a human factor. So, fight night came. Ito na. Nagkaroon ng isang bubu. Yun na lang.
Okay.
First bubu.
Very bad.
Really
bad. Okay.
Referee didn't know what to do. Ito
Oh,
rin.
crap.
So I told the referees.
Oh, shoot.
I told the referees, sir. Ano po sabi ko, good events tayo. Pag may problema, hanapin nyo lang kami or basta kahit na anong mangyari, kayong masusunod The first bubu. The referee froze.
Oh.
Kasi he didn't
my.
know what to do.
Oh.
Tapos he was barking instructions. The fighters weren't listening.
Oh, shoot.
Authority.
Then the cornermen started shouting.
Oh, shit.
Lalo siya nataranta, I guess.
Lalo siya nataranta.
So afterwards, basta the fight was paused. Then Gab stood. Oh, they paused the fight.
Oh, my
Then
goodness.
they stood up kasi the coaches were running towards Gab. And then they were mouthing off at the referee. So now Gab
my
started
goodness.
discussing the technicalities and the rule sets. And then they started calling me. Sabi ko, Franco, come here.
Consultant.
I go here.
Consultant pa.
So I said, based on the rules, these are the ganyan. Now, it was an unfortunate call. Okay? It wasn't a bad call. Sabi ko, kasi they kept saying it's a bad call. I kept saying it's an unfortunate call. Because I didn't want them to be right. The moment you give fighters or coaches or any corner the authority that they're right, it's downhill from there. Sabi ko, it's an unfortunate call. So that's it. Na ako, I didn't give them room to talk na. Sabi ko, that's it. So now, do we go scorecards or do you want to reset the fight? So tinawag ko yung coach niya. Kasi nandun na yung dalawang coaches Nagbabangay-ngayan na sila Sabi ko, coaches, do we go scorecard or do you want your fighters to decide the fate of their bout? And they both said fighters. Okay, so let's go. Let's reset. Then I started talking to one of the referees. I said, kahit na anong mangyari, ikaw ang masusunod dyan. Medyo nararattle siya, so sisigaw. Sabi ko, ref, kahit na anong mangyari, ikaw ang masusunod dyan. Hindi sila. Sabi ko, ikaw ang masusunod.
Dapat
sabi ko, pag nagreklamo sila, nasa Pilipinas sila, upakan natin sila.
Tama. Don't chip at your own authority, di ba?
So, yan. Shook himself back into some sense and then tuloy yung event. There are probably like 3 or 4 boo-boos.
What a story, man.
Wow.
What a story. I love it.
I mean, again, this is not to down the referees or no, it was a successful event, okay? It was a successful event. For an inaugural event, it was really good. This is the part wherein people also appreciate, and I'm very thankful for, the elite level of me, Florence, and Joey. It's just that it's totally different when the lights are are off and you're talking casually. It's totally different now when there's someone talking to your ear. We are going live in 3, 2, 1. Spotlight, bam!
Like all of a
Music, bam! Everything. shit just got real.
Shit just became
You
too
hear,
real.
diba? When Boyet is practicing, it's all calm. Then he starts shouting, "Welcome, everybody!" Iba yung energy goes from
The
0 to
energy.
100.
Oh.
Diba? Then Direk is there. Lights, boom. Smokes, boom. Diba? Ring girl, boom. Everything is unfolding right before your eyes.
I
Diba?
suppose that's also one of the
It's-
best things for you.
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The
There's
adrenaline
nothing like
rush
it.
is there's no adrenaline rush na that could describe the feeling. You're excited and then you have the best and the worst seats in the house. Pero it's an overall great experience.
Yeah, I
Ano
suppose
yun?
you've also seen some of the best fights right there in
Yep.
front of you.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Cool. Thank you so much, Coach Franco. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one last.
Go,
What
go,
was
go.
in your opinion, what was your best fight that you
Oh
officiated?
yeah, I would like to know as well. Yeah, do you
So
have
many.
like a pet favorite?
I guess we can go top three
Top
if
three,
if,
or
if
yeah.
it's too hard to
Naku,
choose.
dami niyan eh.
Dami, All right. Coach Franco's top 3 right here exclusively.
Yeah.
Then, so bad with names pa. Mga tanong niya sa akin, so bad with names pa. I refereed ba or I was able to officiate?
You refereed.
I refereed.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sa dami, no?
Probably the Castigo. Ay, di ko alam tuloy ko ako nag-referee nun. The Castigo and the Ramirez-Laurel fight.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely up there.
That was a war.
That was war. The Kaloy Baduria versus sino nga ba yung kalaban niya? Yung malaking katawan.
Stroso, man.
No. Yung sobrang laking katawan.
Sobrang laki ba?
Bodybuilder. Oh man. That fight actually became viral.
Yeah.
Ito ba yung parang malabab siya? Para nakita ko na yun.
Malaki katawan.
No.
Bakit ba? I'm so bad with names. See? I'm sorry. Super bad with names. See yun. Basta apparently that fight became viral.
I remember that.
That guy actually held the championships 3 versus 3, right?
Palomar.
Oh, Wolf Palomar.
Mark Palomar, yeah.
Mark Palomar.
Yeah.
So Castigo Laurel, Baduria versus Palomar, and this was actually ano ba to? Oh man, this was the URCC Tribal Brawl Series. It was a nationwide
tattooing.
Hindi dut-dutan yun eh. Si Tribal Brawl. Tribal Brawl, nagkaroon siya ng nationwide search para siyang ultimate yung Ultimate Fighter, parang the Ultimate Fighter pero nationwide siya, nationwide. So
wow.
It was the fight of Mike Castro versus some guy from Lakay Wushu. Pro-am to. Tapos so para kasi Mike Castro was just eating punches but he was just really going forward zombie mode. Then he was able to get a body lock and then took the guy down. And then kita mo basag yung mukha niya. Then he took the guy down. Nakita mo there was a breath of life. He started ground and pounding. The guy couldn't go out. Referee I had to stop the fight. I was like, wow. It's either that or
Mahirap talaga mamili.
Mahirap mamili eh. Pero most of them kasi nakakalimutan ko yung pangalan ng fighters. Pero sobrang dami yan. Sobrang dami.
The images are still in your head.
Oh, another one would be the fight of Fidel Ballesteros, URCC Davao. I forgot the name of his opponent, pero Fidel's fight. Main event ng URCC Davao. Kasi he said it was settling a beef with some guy and then ayun, beat the guy up. Yun. So that was probably memorable fights for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. On a final note, what is your advice to people who would actually like to start refereeing? Like
Yeah.
you mentioned that si Ref Flores is a new one.
Yun.
I'm
Number
pretty sure
one,
he's thankful that he has you as a mentor.
number one, you should be. It's a choice.
Oo.
You should.
Ano
Number
bang
one is
qualities?
making the choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Because refereeing can be taught. This is something that me, Professor Joey Lepiten, and Coach Rene Ross, Master Rene Ross, are actually working on. We're doing our best to make this a curriculum. We're trying our best to put these
Program
instincts,
module.
put instincts into words, and then putting
Mhm.
them in a structure wherein it's gonna be easy for people to learn. Kasi ito rin yun eh, even the authorities, the powers that be don't have this. So we're probably the initial batch of people that will actually make this happen.
It's a pioneering educational
Pioneer.
system.
It's a strong, yeah, it's an educational module na hopefully we get to finish later on. It's a passion project that kasi ito yun eh. Again, I'm gonna go back to my earlier statement. Hindi pwedeng kami lang.
Yeah.
And
It's-
then
Totoo.
The program
ito
is
lang-
designed to make more of you guys.
the program is designed. Tsaka ito yun eh. We all agreed na the MMA community is growing, so there will be events that will sprout, or people will hold events. So if we cannot referee them, they'll end up getting someone from within their ranks or some half-ass referee, and it's all about fighter safety, credibility of the promotion, integrity of the people behind it. So it's not just about refereeing, it's making sure that you create a promotion or a league that will cultivate and increase the level of MMA in the Philippines. So syempre, a huge part of that will be officiating. So if we cannot referee that event, pero we know that someone from within our academy or within our ranks is going to referee that, we're very confident na it's going to run smoothly.
Make sure the quality is
Yep,
right
the quality is
naman.
there. Yeah.
So
And just to be
more
clear,
qualities
Yeah, go JC.
just to be clear, just because you're a fighter doesn't mean you can referee, right?
Hindi.
it's different
Totally different.
disciplines.
These are different disciplines. There are so many things about refereeing that people don't understand pa. A lot. A lot. So, you want to run down rules of the league, rules of GAB, rules of the organizer, attitude of the fighters, attitude of the coaches, pre-fight, post-fight interviews with the press, handling coaches, handling yung operations ng logistics ng event. I mean, there are so many things. So many things.
Lots of moving parts. Yeah.
Lots of moving parts.
Sobra. All right. Thank you so much, Coach Franco. Please
Thank you
listen
guys
to
for
Coach
having me
Franco's
here.
podcast, Coach Franco Says, and to our show with Coach Franco, Combat Sports Weekly.
Combat Sports Weekly.
Find him on all the major podcast platforms. Tapos meron siyang social media, syempre. Yang IG, Facebook. May Twitter ka na? May Twitter ka, Coach.
May
Twitter
TikTok din
siya,
po ako.
yes.
May TikTok din po.
May TikTok din po siya. Find
But
him
he
on
doesn't
TikTok.
dance there.
Hindi.
dancing there,
Lurker
no?
lang.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Franco. It's been an honor to have
Guys,
you
thank you
here.
so much for having me here. Anytime you let's go do this again.
Thank you.
Let us know if you have any more additional questions to Coach Franco. Unfortunately, it's taken. So, ladies, away.
Teams from Manila would like to thank the following: Coach Franco Rulloda of the Coach Franco Says podcast. Check out his episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, and everywhere else. We have a collaboration with him called Combat Sports Weekly, a show where we do pre- and post-fight commentary and talk about upcoming combat sports events. Coach Gabay Forlales of Brawlers Lab. Enroll now in their online boxing, kickboxing, and brawl fitness classes. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you on the next one.